Peace and blessings and shalom, brothers and sisters. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Welcome to another episode of IAMFITPodcast. Shalom. Thank you. Let's bring it because we got a lot to talk about today. The plot thickens. So I just want to give some time for the people to come in. Usually, it takes a while for people to come in. So I want everybody to kind of make sure we grab everybody and say, come check out this show because we're about to bring fire. Now, as you guys know that I was having a discussion last week in regards to family counseling. I'm still putting together the history of counseling in generally speaking. Counseling came, okay, your value is low. Okay, so let me bring it up, make sure. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Okay, make sure my value is good. 1, 2, mic check. Okay, let me know how I'm coming in now. Okay, 1, 2, mic check. 1, 2, mic check. 1, 2, mic check. Okay. Let me get a thumbs up if you guys hear me well. Should I bring up the mic a little higher? Just want or the volume a little higher. Just let me know. Okay, it is good. Thank you, sir. All right. So I'm doing the history of counseling. I'm putting it together because counseling really started from war trauma. People came back from war. The men, they went through war. They couldn't function, seeing all the dead bodies and things of that nature. And and then it kind of evolved to relationship and life. There's all kinds of different counselors now. But to show that it's really dealing with manipulation and not saying that counseling cannot be good. But if you're married and you have to go through counseling, you already missed the boat. You're too late in the game. And we're gonna discuss that. We're gonna be discussing that. So I'm gonna set the stage, and we're gonna go over some scriptures because these guys, the title is according to these pastors being red pill, and red pill is a term that's been made famous in the last few, I would say, good 10 years, in regards of the narrative in the movie Matrix, when Neo was offered the blue pill to go back to sleep, or the red pill to know the truth. So guys, they are going against the norm and going against this modern, progressive feminization of men and making men feel inadequate. Those are the men they are fighting. The men they are fighting against those systems or that ideology called red pill, right? So I wanted to kind of set the stage, right? And before we begin, once again, if anybody's asking you for money on any social media, the guys out there's some people that hacked my I Am Apparel channel and Instagram. That's no longer me. That's some scammers. I'm trying to get it back, but it's probably going to take forever to get it back. If you want to donate, you donate here at either PayPal or Cash App. PayPal is #IAMFITPodcast, no space. Cash App is IAMFITPodcast1, no space, right? $ IAMFITPodcast1 for the Cash App. And I do appreciate it because you guys have been holding up. All day I've been, my job is sending me like training stuff that I got to learn on home. So I've been working from home. And then next week I got to go to New Jersey to get trained. And it's like a big production. So anything you guys could give until I'm able to put myself up on my feet is highly needed and it's highly appreciated. It also helps this work that I'm doing. I'm trying to get more equipment and so forth. So my brother and I, we're going to be hitting the field and talk to the people specifically over these issues and what's going on. We're going to talk to pastors. We're going to talk to regular Joes. We're going to talk to women, anybody who wants to have a conversation about polygamy, about men's role, women's role, and see what's out there in the streets. But of course, all these equipment and things of that nature takes money. So anything you guys could give is highly needed and highly appreciated. So that's how you could support the work. But make sure that if anybody asks you for any money that is telling you it's me, it's not me, because that's a scam. So let's get to it, right? Let's get to it, right? Because I want to bring some scriptures out, and I'm gonna bring some proper context to this conversation, because what's happening is that these brothers. Let me just adjust. Okay, here we go. These brothers out here are not helping. And let me just adjust this. Sorry. Sometimes I forget to do certain adjustments. These brothers here are not helping at all with the problem. What they're doing is they're finding some level, they're finding a way to keep men psychologically broken or psychologically second-guessing themselves and dealing with relationship and things of that nature. So I'm going to address this in particular because if nobody's addressing it, I need to. So let's see what these guys are saying. These are both pastors. This is from let's see here. This is from Dear Future Wifey, right? That's it right there. Dear Future Wifey. And you can clearly see he's getting a lot of hits, 180,000 views. If you look down, this one particular got, how many views he got? Let me see here. What is it at? 129,970 views, right? These are pastors. So I want you to pay attention to see what these guys are saying. Because they're part of the problem. They are part of the problem. Okay? Fair use. Fair use. This is for educational only. To wicked my people. Fair use.
About is our role as men, our role as husbands when we take on that title. And so today's episode is going to be affectionately titled, Define Husband.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm scared.
I know it. Now we may step on some toes now.
I'm scared.
Because when we start talking about these roles, it may be some trigger points to a lot of men.
Yes, sir.
Are you okay with that?
I'm scared.
Okay, you scared.
But I'm excited.
But we will, on the podcast, we keep it lit. We live intentionally and transparently.
I love it.
All right, so we're gonna deal with some stuff.
Love it.
So when you hear the word husband,
stay with me, folks. I just want to sharpen up the
I'm
view. Here we go.
I know it.
Okay, here we go. It's much better now. Because sometimes it wasn't giving the right. It was I have to sharpen up the.
Now we may step on some toes now.
I'm scared.
Because when we start talking about these roles, it may be some trigger points to a lot of men.
Yes, sir.
Are you okay with that?
I'm scared.
Okay, you scared.
So pay attention. You say, okay, today's title is the definition of a husband, and they say they're gonna bring some controversial stuff, and they're gonna offend some brothers. Some brothers are gonna get offended. Right? So I want you to pay attention because I set the stage, right? So let's hear what these guys got to say. Fair use.
Yeah,
but I'm excited.
But we will, on the podcast, we keep it lit. We live intentionally and transparently.
I love it.
All right, so we're gonna deal with some stuff.
Love it.
So when you hear the word husband, no, first of all, let me ask you, how long have you been married?
I've been married 19 years.
19 years. So
yes,
you have a lot to say about.
I do.
You have a lot to say about what a wife is, or more so what a husband is?
Both. More so what a husband is. What I'm finding is that when I find out what a husband is, who she is will appear.
Hold on. You said that when you find out what a husband is, then who she is will appear.
It'll appear. Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Well, I mean, I'm Adam, right? So I'm here first. And so I've got to find out who I am, because whoever I am is going to come out of me, not to me.
All right, so he's going to start like that. Okay.
So it sounds good so far, right? Some deep stuff. I'm Adam. I come first. So stay with me here. Okay.
Okay, listen, I looked up the etymology of the word husband, and as I looked up the word husband, and we talked about this before on the podcast, the word husband is defined as, it's an old English word, comes from the word husbanda, which means male head of household, yes, the master of a house, the householder. I love that word, householder.
Yeah.
But we know that in the Bible, and notice he's using the etymology from a modern perspective, but in the Bible, the term husband means husbandman, worker, right? Because it's going back to the duties of man when they come after the fall, right? To the sweat of your brow. But that's we're gonna touch on that. Fair use.
I'm gonna stop right there. When you hear the word householder referred to as a husband, what comes to mind?
Yeah, even that word husband, another way of looking at it is a husband or house band.
Yes.
The man that holds it all together, right? And so our role as the husband is to hold it together. And I think a house that doesn't have a house band is a house that is really in dismay.
So far, everything sounds good, right, guys? Everything sounds good. Okay, but you have to understand that these guys, I don't know who sent them. I don't know if they just beta male. They just want to be comfortable with their reality. Stockholm syndrome, I call them sometimes, or they're being sent. But let's talk about them. Let's have a conversation, right? A fair use. And what I want to do also, I want to pick it up. Matter of fact, let's go pick it up at the 9 minutes and 8 seconds. Let's pick it up there. I want to pick it up there, right? Because this is when it gets interesting. Fair use.
I thought I knew so much that the people who married us, they thought we did too. They didn't even count.
So basically, because I saw, the video in length. So he's been married 18 years. The pastor there, he has an organization to help married couples, blah, blah, blah. And he got married when he was 28 and he's 48, I think 48, 49. So he got married at he got married at 28, and then he's about 48, 49 now, right? So I think he's like 2 years younger than me, right? So we're around the same age, right? And I've been married with my wife around the same situation. I mean, I met my wife when I was 20. I'm 50 now. We had two breakup. One was 2 years, the other one was 3 years. So if you 30 years, 25 years. Okay. So let's have a conversation. Fair use. So now he's leaning up that he did not know what it took to be married. And now he's learning, being a wise old man, right? Supposedly. Let's see what he says.
Counsel us. And so we got married and we found out I don't know anything about marriage or manhood, for that matter.
So what was the biggest lesson? What was the first defining moment that made you realize that something ain't right? I need to fix me.
When I realized that for a man, manhood is unfair. Yeah. When I found out that it's never going to be fair, it's always going to be unfair, unbalanced. When I grasped.
Now, this is true. Life is unfair. And men do know this. And men understand this, and they operate in that world, and they they adapt instead of complaining, because they know life is not fair, right? So a lot of these things he's saying is true. However, though, we need to go into a much deeper understanding, because, and this is probably going to be a part, I'm going to continue having the conversation, because this is all women worship. This is all connected to women worship. And you guys can understand exactly what I'm talking about as we continue. Fair use.
That I stopped expecting things of her that she couldn't give.
Oh gosh. Okay, hold on. So now you're saying that you gotta lower your expectation of your wife?
Of course. It's not even lower my expectation of her, it's raise my expectation of myself. There's a difference, right? So if I lower my expectation of her,
all this sounds deep. All this sounds real deep. But it's garbage. Straight up garbage. And you're gonna see why.
Expect nothing, right? But when I raise my expectation.
Now guys, what do you usually expect from a woman? Because men are simple. Right? Feed us, give us sex when we want it, keep the house clean, look over the kids, don't nag us too much. Those are bare fundamentals. Right? Respect me. Right? Just simple stuff. So he had to lower his expectation. And this guy is teaching men how to be men. Okay, let's talk about it.
Of myself, she can remain the same. I have to level up. I look at the relationship between Christ and his church. He leveled up. He literally.
Look how they use or they misuse the scriptures. Fair use.
Raised himself on the cross to die. Right, so he was suspended above us, expecting more of himself than those that were down here to observe it.
David, I'm telling you right now, and I know you say you were scared at the very beginning, but you need to be very afraid. Because there's a community of men.
I know.
And they known the red pill community and the manosphere who put the onus on the women and say the women are the problem. If women did this, then men could do that. And you just said something that.
So now what they're doing is, since men are waking up and realize, yeah, we don't have to take this abuse from these women. And they're no longer approaching women like they used to. A lot of men that are been divorced or what have you, they're not getting remarried, right? You got men out there that no longer are saying, you know what, I could go overseas and get me a wife. Because all that is part of stratosphere. These knuckleheads want the men to stay. Don't expect anything from women. Lower your expectations. And you elevate, whatever that means. All that is garbage. It's garbage, it's garbage, it's garbage. It's just garbage that sounds good.
That makes a huge shift
it's
in responsibility.
Totally incorrect. It's not her responsibility. It's mine. He said this. He said, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her.
Yes.
He also said this, while ye were yet sinners, I died, which means that I can't wait till you're right for my death. I've got to do it because.
So this is what these nincompoops are saying. When we have to die every day for Christ. Now he's replacing that for your wife? Huh? This is all women worship. This is exactly what it is. These are all straight up beta male. They are dealing with Stockholm syndrome or men that it's about that money, and they understand that the most of the women that are watching these type of shows are women validating their nonsense. These men are not going to be helping you, sisters. I'm telling you, they're going to make things worse. Because men are leaving you. You guys are already alone. You've been trying and been doing this bull crap for, what, almost, a decade now. Is it working? Is it working? Let's have a conversation, folks, because it's enough. I'm done with this debating with the direction that we're going as a society it's correct. The jury came back in, and the answer is no, it's not. So you beta males, you step aside, and let's have our alpha men of the Lord, that understand it's about the Most High's way, his will. And anytime there is a system that is not operating under that will, real men have to stand up and correct these women. Fair use.
Because you're wrong. My death has to be because you're wrong, right? I have to die more when she's at her worst.
No, you die every day for Christ. How dare you use something that it has to deal with our salvation and our struggle with our sin, or struggle that you have to die. You have to kill that old man every day to tolerate women that just don't want to obey you. It gets worse, guys. I'm telling you, it gets worse. Let's keep listening.
Most like Christ when she's at her worst. Having said that, I couldn't become a Christian until his cross. So the woman that these guys are complaining about will not show up until you die.
No, idiots. These men are not dealing with those women. You could deal with them. You're not helping these women, because the real talk, homie, you're probably not the woman that she wanted originally.
Oh, God.
She's not going to come. You can beg, plead, threaten. Until you die, sir, she will not show up.
This is the whole thing.
What
you don't
happened?
listen. You don't have to beg and plead. It's my way, or I'm hitting the highway. I keep telling you, brother, the worst thing you could do to these sisters is break out. They're not acting right. You don't have to stay there and get that abuse. You're getting mentally abused. Now, yes, the sisters that are trying, and the sisters that are really remorseful, and they're really trying, and you have to reprogram them. Yeah, let's go. Oh, that's good. We could do that. Let's talk about that. But we have to first establish it that the man is the head of the household. So the minute the women are disobeying their husband, and they're not operating in the spirit of femininity, that's wrong. We have to address it first. Then we could talk about all these fancy talk, the elevate like Christ and all that. All that's nonsense if you're not dealing with a real concrete issue. You're not helping these men, brothers. You're not helping these men. Fair use.
In your marriage to first give you that jolt for you to say, hey, I have to die.
I was begging my wife to do things and pleading and staying up at night crying because she wouldn't.
Give me an example. The people need reference around here.
Yeah, let's talk even sex.
Let me back that up. Let me back that up a little bit.
Crying because she wouldn't.
Give me an example. The people.
Wait. Here we go. Come on, let's back up.
Pleading and staying up at night crying because she wouldn't.
Who do you plead to? Who do you beg? To the Most High, not your woman. This is how you got to do it. Oh, you're not giving me sex. Listen, I'm going to need, sex at least twice a week. Oh, but I'm tired. I'm not in the mood. I need to be in the mood. Because that's a trick that, we're going to get into that because they touch on that. But people need to understand that marriage is a duty. I do not want to get up and get the pistola if I need to get the pistola if somebody's trying to break into the house. I don't want to do that. But it's my duty. When I have to pick up heavy stuff and things of that nature, we were moving, I didn't want to do that. But it's my duty. Men do all the time things that they don't want to do. And this guy was up and crying, right? Crying and pleading and staying up all night, crying, well, my wife doesn't. This is what you did. This is what he should have done. Honey, I understand you're not giving me sex and things of that nature. You know, I understand you're tired. I'm gonna give me another wife that can fulfill that role. Since you're tired, you know. See, that's why these guys brought up the sex thing, because that's a major thing of control. That's a major thing. Women use sex as a control. It gets worse. It gets worse. Let's continue.
Give me an example. The people need reference around here.
Let's talk even sexually.
Yeah.
Right. So begging for it. And what I realized is, man, I wasn't creating a climate where she would be open to it. Right. So I'm begging for something, but I'm not introducing the climate. So when I had to die first and make it about her first, and when I made it about her,
I had to die first and make it about her first. Who's the head of man? Who does he poop first? I will let you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is man, and the head of Christ is the Most High God. And what these nunca-poops need to understand, that man's cycle produces every day. That's why a man wakes up with an erection in the morning, because your testosterone is actually strongest in the morning. So you ready? That's a sign that you're ready to go. But a woman's cycle is a little different. She gets more aroused, you know, and some cycles I have read every 7 days, some cycle every other, 10 days. Some women, sometimes it all depends on the woman. It's not the same cycle. A man is ready to go every day. And what these brothers need to understand is that you need to program sisters to make them find pleasure in giving you pleasure. There was an old saying back in the days that my wife used to say when we first started dating, and she was talking to a friend of hers. I think Mickey, I forgot it. It was her. One of the friends, I forget. And they were joking around. It's like, yeah, you better give him some, because if you don't give him some, he will get it from someone else. They were joking around. And that was a thing in the 90s and the 80s that women understood. You got to give your husband some. A little something before they go to work, right? Or what have you. Because if they don't get it from you, they're going to get it from somebody else. And that understanding is lost in the Christian church. They make it seem like sex has to be this Hollywood romantic thing. No, that's in the weekends. That's when you go out with her. You get what I'm saying? These dudes, man, are just think that it's so smart and witty. And it's like, you have to make it about her. Oh, oh my God, you're so deep. No, you're a simp. You're just going through the emotions. You're just going through the, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you're dealing, when some people cannot change certain things, you're coping. This is a coping mechanism.
Bible says it this way: we love him because he first loved us.
That's what it said.
Yeah. So I had to love her first for her to love me back. I couldn't wait on her to initiate that.
It's an example and it hit me. This year December comes around. It'd be 7 years from.
And this is the full intent, the full video. We're not gonna see everything, but this is the small video clip that he put that I showed last week. So these guys think for you to just simply have sex, get sex, understanding that your biology as a man is different from a woman, sexually speaking. Now you have to create this. You already marry her. What else more love you need to show? These women are mind controlling these men, thinking that every time you want sex, it has to be a romantic situation. But you know what the funny thing is? Women complain when a man is too romantic all the time, and you're suffocating me. Because a woman is not built that way. But Hollywood and this mainstream narrative is making you think that this is what it is. Women get aroused and get, it's a different cycle. Every woman have to find a cycle. Go to the doctor, GYN, and they will tell you when it's a woman knows. Sometimes it's every 15 days. And what happened is when women are too proud, they will think that giving sex to your husband because his sexual appetite is higher than yours, oh, that's oppressive. You're using my body as an object. What else I'm going to use? My hand? You're the object of my sexual pleasure. If God created men with that sexual pleasure that you need sex every other day, every third day, who am I going to use? These idiots don't get it. These idiots are thinking that they're too, they're smart, and because it sounds good, talk, preach, brother, preach. They need a spiritual slap, man. These dudes are not helping the cause. They're not helping the cause.
From my divorce. And God taught me this, because I always go back and I reverse engineer and be like, where were my problems areas? I can point out all the things wrong with my ex-wife, but then I always take, as I'm going through this healing journey, what did I do wrong? And God brought to my remembrance a feather story. My ex-wife came home one day, and I used to always complain that we wouldn't have sex, and I'd be like, gosh, I feel like, I said I was gonna write a book called I Started Masturbating Once I Got Married.
Jesus.
Because I never masturbated a day in my life until I said I do.
Because the woman, you should have trained that sister and tell her. But see, a lot of guys, when they talk straight like this, they're too afraid that the woman's gonna leave. Listen, I need sex twice a week. And I'm expecting sex three, it should have been said. He shouldn't have to bring out feathers and all that. They make something so simple, something that's basically basic biology. Every woman that I used to, deal with or operated in the 90s and all that, it was a common thing. You give men some. You give men some. Because on that, if you don't give him some, he's gonna find it somewhere else. What happened to those women? Where was the mother teaching that sister? His first wife. And now he's blaming himself. Lord, give me patience with these guys. Give me patience.
And I said, something ain't right.
I didn't know this was the part. Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk.
Okay.
Hold on, David. We're going to talk. We're going to talk.
You mentioned it before.
But I said we're going to talk. We're going to talk.
No, but King, you said it before, but I kind of took it lightly.
Oh, no, we're going to go there.
Okay.
We're going to go there.
Okay.
So I started masturbating once I got married. And I said, so then my ex-wife used to always say that I had this unhealthy relationship with sex.
And that's how they get you. Don't let them trick you. Don't let them make you ashamed and subconscious about your sexual appetite. You want sex too much. No, he wants sex more than you because God made him that way. That's why polygamy is more a natural state of being. Yeah, there's some women that have more sex drive because a woman, it's like the moon. The moon sometimes goes into a own course. And sometimes, certain women are more frisky than others, but it's a man he's like the sun. He's rises every morning. Sometimes you gotta look for the moon. What is the moon? What is that? They're all over the place. So now we men have to submit to the moon swing of the woman. Nah, dude. And part of a woman submitting herself and giving herself to a man when she's not in the mood is part of her training her to submit under that man. Because it ain't going to last forever, mama. You know what I mean? It's like 5-6 minutes, you're out of there. It's called a quickie for a reason. And if you can't even give him that, you should find joy, sisters, that you're giving, this tension that man is building up, he's releasing it in you. You should say, I appreciate it. I could be in a position to help to release my man of his sexual appetite. But this dude started masturbating after he got married. Because you married the wrong chick, and you should have had a friend like me, and I would have given you the game, bro. These dudes, they just don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. Now they're teaching other men. Now they're the pastor, reverend, so-and-so. Betas, man. And this is not about male chauvinists. This is serious, guys, because these type of things are oppressing men. Men are becoming depressed. This dude was crying and pleading his wife. It only took me one time. If you're not gonna give it to me, I'll find somebody else. It's cool, mama. It's okay. You stay asleep. Matter of fact, I don't even remember ever had to tell that to a woman. I don't get it, but this is the world. These are your leaders.
And I was like, because she wasn't, experimenting, didn't have, only been with one guy before we got married. And me, that's not my testimony. So she was like, you have an unhealthy idea about marriage. I'm like, no, you got a problem. You just don't want to have sex.
That's you.
So we get married. And I felt like she was rationing the sex. And I was like, oh, you just finna control the sex like that. You finna struggle. You finna make me struggle. And I'm finna be...
What is the second strongest thing on earth beside the truth? Right? Wine, king, woman, right? And let me also say this. It's not that women are the second strongest other than truth. When you read that story in the Apocrypha, I'm probably going to do a lesson on this. He was trying to mock the two other wise men that were saying that wine is the strongest and the other one said the king is the strongest. He was trying to show them how weak their point is, but saying even women are stronger than that. But women are not the second strongest. But he was trying to show them how weak their point is and was. So that's a different conversation. Outside of the Most High God and Christ, you know who's the strongest? We are. Or at least we're supposed to be. Under that is women and then all the other stuff.
Abstinent while we married? Like, what is this about? So one day she came home with a feather. She came home with the feather and she said, here, use this feather on me. I was like, here she is. Here's another obstacle.
A feather.
Yeah, a feather. I said, what am I going to do with this?
See, dude, your first thought was right. Another obstacle. Women like this only operate fear of loss. If his butt would have ignored her and find himself another wife, I understand what the whole thing, he probably would not have been. Let's remove the Bible for a minute. If he would have just started getting a girlfriend, and he would start, matter of fact, let's not even get another girlfriend. Let me give you another tip. You don't want to do your duty as a wife? I'm not going to do my duty as a husband. I'm not paying nothing in here. I'm out. She would have been like, she probably would call her reverend. My husband, he left. I don't know where he's at. He's not taking care of his responsibilities. A man should not have to bend over backwards, get feathers and all that just to get a little something. I'm like, come on, this is stupid. But it's the pride of that woman, that pride. They don't want to submit and say, you know what? I'm having sex with my husband, not because I want to have sex, but I know that he's a man and he needs sex more than me. So it brings me pleasure to give him some, although I don't want something right now. He could have that. But the women's egos, these type of women's egos, oh my God, Godzilla size. It bothers them that the man is enjoying himself and she's not enjoying herself. Lord, give me patience. Give me patience with these men. Give me patience with these men.
This feather.
Yeah.
She said, just rub it on me. Just rub it on my body.
Yeah.
And at first I did it, and I was doing it all begrudgingly. I'm rubbing it all on it. I was just painting. So stupid. It's taking too long. I'm over here painting with the dang thing. This is some nonsense. This is goofy. This don't even make sense. Yeah. And God reminded me of that moment in 2022 about my selfishness in that moment, because it wasn't.
Don't let them use that word selfish. You're so selfish. It's all about you, pleasing you. I want to be pleased. That's a form of control. Because then you start thinking you're inadequate. Women are not built that way. But if women have a resentment, a built-in resentment, and they're coming in the relationship of that, what can he do for me, not what could I do for him? She's going to be upset that you're getting pleasure on something that she's not getting pleasure equally. So you got to, bend over backwards every single time. And it's not that serious. It's not that serious. Women around my generation, they understood that. You give your man some, because if he doesn't get it from you, he's going to get somebody else. So women understood that. You keep your man's, cojones, his sack empty, because somebody else is going to empty it out. So women have to stop. You have to get into that spirit of femininity and service. You have to serve him first, not the other way around. Why do you think you women, when you guys was young and in high school, and it was the bad boy, the high school jock and all that? He didn't have to show you that much love, did he? But you were still chasing him. The bad boy. The guy you still think about today. Did he have to do everything that this dude had to do? No. Did he have to bring out feathers and all that? Lord, have mercy upon these women, man, and these men that they're just destroying our youth, man. They're destroying our youth. They're feminizing men. They're making men ashamed to talk about, listen, I need sex more than women. And they'll use words like, you got an unhealthy relationship with sex. No, I have a healthy relationship with sex. That's a good thing that man always wants sex. I mean, he's healthy and viral.
about me.
Wow.
That feather represented take time with me.
Wow.
I know you used to just go, your foreplay hits different, you know. I want you to take your time. I want something as soft as a feather touching my body. I want you to caress me. I want you to literally make love to me and not just have sex with me. And I was like, God hit me with that. I was like, why'd you take so long to get
The thug that she was dating in high school, did he have to do all that? Or he just hit it and quit it? It's always the nice guy that end last. It's always the nice guy that got to go through all this rigmarole. That's why I'm trying to help these nice guys to say, you don't have to deal with all of this. You got to have standards. And I'm trying to help the young men that have not yet been married. They are not yet in a situation of mortgage, kids, right? College tuition, and they stuck in this situation. That's why these men always do what? They go on the side and start getting these women of the night, these side chicks. We already live in a polygamous community. We're just not honest about it. We're not being truthful about it. Lord, give me patience with these dudes. It's insane. Something so simple. So simple. Women, you need to put in your schedule when you have a husband. Okay, sex is part of my duty as a wife. And when that time, when you are in the mood, he'll be willing to do that for you because you did it for him. When you like the feathers and all that, then he'll bring out the feathers because you gave him that, those 2 quickies on Mondays and Wednesdays. This ain't rocket science, man. This ain't rocket science. But these dudes are just creating this illusion that you do have to go do backflips.
Give me that.
Yeah.
It's because now I'm in the posture of receiving.
Yeah.
I'm in the mindset and the attitude to say, God, make me better for my future wife.
That's good.
And so when you look at that example, when you said that, hey, you were trying to force her to quote unquote give you more sex, what transpired that made you say, let me try a different approach?
I cracked that word open, right? I cracked the word open. And if you look at Ephesians,
He said, I cracked the word open. He opened the Bible. And this is what now you're dealing in my world, Papa. So let's see what he's going to use.
5, and read it in the Message Bible. It says that a husband's love is defined by giving, not getting. Yeah. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. His gift to us demanded a return from us. So for a man, you have to give something, sir. She doesn't feel safe with you, right? If you're making it about you, why should she feel safe with you? But when you show up and say, I'm showing up every morning, man, my thing, I wake up every day and ask myself, how can I lighten this woman's load?
Ooh.
Every morning.
How can I light this woman's load? Every morning, that's his first thing. So who is this God? The Most High God or this woman? He said it. I put her first, not the Most High. And every morning he gets up and say, how can I, make this woman's load lighter? Not going God's way. That's not the first thing. Women first and that's the first thing he thinks about. And what these guys don't understand, and I know what these guys are going through because I have had friends like this, that they think that the more you give to these women, the more they're going to then receive. And one dude is in a second marriage. This is Stockholm syndrome, guys. This is going through the emotions, going through the coping mechanism. That's all it is. They either know they're doing this and they just know that they need those women to like and subscribe. Because these guys, they go, when you go into the beginning of this interview, they are, they go to different cities. They go to New York, they go to California, they go to Texas, they're in Chicago. They're doing tours. And the room is filled up with who? Women and beta males. See, if you reward bad behavior to women, they're going to continue doing it. If you reward good behavior to women, they're going to continue doing it. But if you condemn and correct bad behavior, two things are going to happen. They're going to either change or leave you. Either way, it works for me. And either way should work for you, brothers. The problem with these dudes, they are fixated with these women. A big butt and a smile. That's all it takes for them to just, simp. Now they're using, Christ, exactly. They're using John 3:16 as a premise for your wife.
What can I do today to lighten her load? So when I show up like that, man, I'm not a romantic dude, right? But when I show up like that, Bible says it this way. In Ephesians 5, he says, man, a man.
The word romance came from the word Roman, because the Romans, used that seductive scenario and became a thing. Tell me one man that was a romantic man in the Bible. Even Solomon, who wrote the book of Proverbs, who had 700 wives and 300 concubines, said, or the other way around, who can find a virtuous woman? And I don't have a problem with romance. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it, with taking your wife out and having a good time and nice restaurant, a little dancing, right? I don't have a problem with that. But if you have to constantly do that to keep her happy, who's your God? The Most High God or this woman?
A man doesn't, he pampers himself, doesn't he? So when I read that, what I realized, man, is that I don't have to be romantic. If I'm just like Christ, that's romantic enough, right? So if I would do for her what I would do for myself, that means if I'm going to take a bath, I'll run hers too.
Woo!
Right? If I'm going to make my meal, if I'll prepare my plate, I've got to do it for her too. So now this looks like romance.
I'm telling you, there is a deep disease going on in the black community. And I saw a video a while back that there was a Spanish brother speaking to some sisters. And he said the problem with black women is that you grew up in the world, or you grew up by your mom and says, be strong, be a strong woman. Don't take any crap. Don't allow, and all of that, right? So a woman comes in already with that attitude, right? But Latina women usually, and I know this from experience because most of the women that I've been in a relationship have been Latinas, right? And Latinas, they grew up with this thing of you got to keep your house clean. Even when you bring a boyfriend to meet your parents, if the man picks up a plate, the mother will be like, you better pick that boy's a plate. These guys don't understand that he is simply combating against culture. The black women had lost those culture. Not all, but the majority of them. And the reason why I have to make us think of this, because these brothers are from the tribe of Judah. And Judah is a natural leader. So let me talk to you, Judah, right now. I'm your big brother. You got Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and then Judah, right? So I'm technically your big brother right now. What's up? What's going on? What happened to the strong black leaders that we used to have in our communities, man? Say the way it is, with no filters. The fact that he has to fix himself a plate is telling me he's a beta. I don't remember the last time I fixed my plate. And I have. Sometimes I'm doing the podcast, I'm late. My wife said, listen, baby, I'm going to put the food here, this and that. Let me know when you wake up. And sometimes I'm like, Mom, I got it. And sometimes I got to argue with my wife. I'm going to ask you a question, baby, where you put the food? And she's ready to get up. I'm like, no, I got it. You sure? Yeah, I got it, Mama. What's going on? You know what we have to start doing, man? We have to start bringing Asian and Latina women, right, that still have those values, to start teaching these black sisters how to be a wife. And move these damn simps out the way, man. See, these are the type of men that get cheated on. These are the type of men that women leave eventually.
It's not. It's actually kingdom, right? Bottled up in service. And so I don't have any feathers yet, but I'm going to get some. I'm gonna go kill a bird.
You're gonna kill a bird.
Feathers all
You're gonna
day
chase
long.
an ostrich.
You will kill a bird to please that woman for this feather. Come on, dude. I mean, we have to stop with this, man. We really do. This is not a joke, man. This is stupid. This is asinine. This is retarded. This is not normal behavior. This is not how men's supposed to be acting. Don't let these guys trick you. I'm not saying that you have to be running around beating your chest, because a real man doesn't have to. Oh, Lord, have mercy on these fools. Have mercy on these guys. I can't listen to them more. I just cannot. Let's go into the scriptures. Let's go into the scriptures. And I'm gonna be taking phone calls in a few minutes, but just hold tight. Oh, and if anybody wants to come in on the Zoom, you can also come into the Zoom as well. That's why I tell brothers, man, travel. Start comparing American Western women to other women in the other parts of the world. Totally different. Totally different. Because it's culture. I remember when I was going to Desiree's, grandma's house, right? We started getting serious. I didn't fix myself a plate. It was understood that woman does that. And where is the emphasis or the intention on women serving their husband? There's no conversation of that. If I fix myself a plate, I'll fix hers. Dude. I'm telling you guys, don't fall for these guys. Anybody who's in the fence and thinking that, male machismo, maybe Gabbard is wrong and he's overdoing it. Nah, dude, you have to establish that first. You're the prize. You're her protection. You're her Lord. You're the one that is going to be leading and guiding her. If you're guiding something, that means you have authority over it. So let's go into these scriptures because, these guys are using these scriptures totally wrong. Totally wrong. I mean, it's Where are you? Let's see here. Here we go. Ephesians 5, verse 21, right? It says, submit yourself one to another in the fear of the Lord. So what is it saying, what Paul is saying? Because they usually start at verse 22, but he is saying that the fear and submitting, okay, because when you read the entire thing, it goes into like different servants submitting to their masters. The parents have to be respected by the children. The children submit yourself to to your parents. Servants obey your masters. Masters, don't mistreat your servant because you yourself have a master in heaven. So this whole thing is dealing with master-servant relationship. And now he's touching on the women. And it reads as follows. This is a scripture that he used, right? Because they just touch on these things. And you notice they always ignore this part. They always go into husband, love your wife. Yes, you do love your wife. But there's a thing called tough love. You ever heard of that too? Hey, brother, tough love. I got to give you tough love now. That's love too. Love is not aiding and abetting bad behavior. Wives, submit yourself unto your own husbands as unto the Lord, meaning you will submit yourself the same way the church submit itself to Christ. We're going to go into some other scriptures, how women used to submit themselves to Christ in the scriptures. For the husband is the head, not the tail. If the first thing you waking up in the morning is how you're supposed to serve your wife, brother, you a simp. The first thing you're supposed to be thinking about what commandments you broke last night. How you can perfect yourself. That's the first thing. How your service of God is in order. And then everything else comes second place. How you want to place that is up to you. Your kids, your job, your securities, in your house, whatever. It comes second, third, whatever. Whatever order you want to put. The first thing is the Most High. That's why, what do you do first when you get up in the morning? You pray. That's the sunrise prayer. You're not thinking about your wife. These dudes are not training these men properly. Verse 24. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husband in everything. Right? We're going to hold this for a minute. And I want to show you how women used to submit themselves to Christ. I'm in 27 of Matthew, right? We're going to go into verse 55. Right, verse 55. And it reads as follows. And many women were there beholding afar off, which followed Christ from Galilee, minister unto him. These are the women that were ministering unto him. These were the women. Among which was Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James and Janus, and the mother of Zebedee's children. When they even was come, they came to a rich man. It goes into, these are the women that were ministering to Christ. Let's go to Luke chapter 8, right? And it came to pass afterwards, verse 1, chapter 8 of Luke, that he went throughout every city. Matter of fact, let me go to the scripture, verse 2. That's the one I want to get to. Let's start to verse 2. There you go. It says, and certain women which have been healed of evil spirits and infirmities, Mary called Magdalene, out of whom went 7 demons, right? And these are the women that used to minister unto Christ. And Jana and the wife of Kasha, Herod's steward. So he used to work for Herod, and his wife used to minister to Christ. And Susanna and many others, which minister, the word minister means to serve, unto him of their substance. They used to even pay him money and make sure that they are okay. So these women were in a position that they had some wealth and they had some prestige, and they were ministering to Christ. They were helping Christ with his ministry. They weren't talking about what's the this flower or this feather and whatever Christ needed, boom, it got done. Sisters, you want your husband to be happy? Obey him. Simple. Obey him, respect him, and he will give you the world, man. He will go through a wall for you. He will take a bullet for you. He will die for you. But it first has to be established. You got to obey me and be subject to me as the church is subject to Christ. Once you do that, we could talk about the feathers. This is not a joke, guys. This is serious. They are harming young men. They are harming young women. And thinking this is the purpose of life. This is how you're supposed to operate in a marriage. Yeah, you will stay for a while. Because what happened is that when that spirit of Jezebel, once they conquer a man, that a man is doing everything that she wants, how he wants it, where he wants it. That spirit then wants to go somewhere else. They'll start granting divorce. And then men be like, I did everything right. I listened to that pastor, dear wifey and all that. So call in 646-450-2013. 646-450-2013. Let's talk about it. Or if you want to call into the Zoom or make sure your audio and your video is good, you can come in. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the wacko. Maybe I'm the one that's out of touch. But these men are dealing with witchcraft. Shout out to Brother TC. He's over to supporting. Shalom, brother. Shalom, shalom, shalom. He's always bringing some fire. Brother, I am Daniel. Shalom to that brother and all the brothers. And this is not about hate. I got in some texts or some comment, some comments. This brother hates sisters. No, man, I'm trying to help you guys. I'm trying to deliver you guys from the spirit of Babylon. because there's nothing new in the sun. Maybe tomorrow or Thursday, I'm going to do a lesson on that. The spirit of Babylon in regards of feminine worship of women. There's nothing new. Because when you used to have certain, if you worship certain goddess, you have to treat women a certain kind of way. And you'd be surprised what they say. The same thing these nincompoops are saying. They worship the Diana, the Queen of Heaven, without saying they're worshiping the Queen of God, the Queen of Heaven. They're teaching you a religion. This is ancient. We're going to get into that tomorrow. My beloved brothers, man. I'm trying to free you guys. I'm trying to help you guys of this mind control. And if you operate with a woman and you are depressed because you're barely getting sex, you're barely getting any respect, every time she's unhappy with something, you got to up and yes. You're a slave, brother. You're a slave. You don't deserve that. You're better than this. And these guys are not helping. So if they're speaking against the red pill, that means they took the blue pill. Lord help them, man. Lord help these guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to be working from home because I got to train. They send me a bunch of paperwork and videos to watch. And then next week I got to go to New Jersey, take some tests. And it's like a big brouhaha because it's a software that I got to learn, and it's like a big production. So anything you guys could give and help, the super chat or the PayPal is highly needed, highly appreciated. I just want to thank you for staying up with me. If you have any ideas for any shows or any topic, please send me an email at IAMFITPodcast@gmail.com. IAMFITPodcast@gmail.com. So until next time, may the Most High keep you, watch you, and protect you. Shalom and peace.